Hello everyone, in this video I am going to show you how to create this beautiful morning scenery in the app IBIS PAINT X. I am going to give all the brush details and techniques I used for this scenery creation. So let's get started. First, I am using 3:4 ratio canvas, and first of all, to create the texture for the canvas I am using the background drawing paper watercolor 1, and to create the watercolor background I am using watercolor bleed brush. I'm going to use the bright color for the background because this is the morning scenery and at the forest, so the sunlight showing bright, so I'm using bright colors at the top, especially like bright yellow, orange, and a little bit of red at the bottom and a dark brown at the very bottom. So here is the background, it's almost ready. So once I'm okay with the background, I'm going to create the new layer and create the sunlight. For creating the sunlight, I'm using airbrush triangle and using bright yellow color first of all, and keeping the blending mode for this layer as add, so it's going to be glowing, so I'm using add blending mode. First I'm using bright yellow color, and then at the center I'm giving some more brightness with white color, and this is okay, the sunlight is perfect. Next I'm going to create the new layer and going to draw the trees. For trees, I'm not going to draw multiple trees, not like that. So I'm just going to create a single tree with more details, and I'm going to just copy, and which means I'm going to duplicate the layer and use wherever I want. So this brush is watercolor bleed. For this entire illustration, I'm like 80% I use this watercolor bleed brush. So here is the tree branches, and I'm adding some more branches here and there, and I'm going to use the leaves. So here is some more branch. Okay, so now I'm going to add the leaves. For leaves I'm using leaves 1 brush, and here you can see the setting. Click on the type and choose water and reduce increase the wetness. So this is the setting for all the brushes that you are using in IBIS PAINT X if you want that brush to be like a watercolor textured one. So wherever you want a watercolor textured one but the brush is of some other setting, you can use these settings to make it a little bit of watercolor and make best use of that. So here is the tree almost ready. I used multiple colors like orange, some dark orange here and there, and yellowish color, something like that. So then I just duplicated that layer. I'm just hiding the original layer because I'm gonna need it later. So now again I just duplicated the original tree and hidden the original tree and positioning the duplicate. So here is the first duplicated tree. So I'm making this tree little bit darker. To make it possible, I'm using special lasso tool, and which means special lasso fill tool. So what I'm doing here is making this layer as alpha lock. What happens when we use alpha lock is whatever we are drawing in the alpha lock locked layer, it's going to be appear only on the details already present there. So here is the tree already present, so I am just using the lasso fill tool to make it a little bit darker. So I am just dragging all over the layer, but it is appeared only on the tree, above the tree. You have noticed that, right? So this is the use of alpha log, which is very useful. So once I'm done with the first tree, I'm just into the second tree and adding the details. I'm keeping the second tree color as same, but adding details like a dark brown black color at the right side and the highlights at the left side. To add the highlights, I'm using white color here, so not full white, it's like a patchy white light which is reflection of the sunlight. So I'm creating such a view and moving on to the first tree. And since this both these trees are in now alpha log mode, so I'm adding details above the tree to add some reflection at one side and shadow at the right side. So both are ready. Now I'm just duplicating the second tree and just positioning at the left side to make another tree. For this I'm positioning a little bit here and I'm going to change the color of it a little bit. For that, again, what I'm going to do is going to use the lasso fill tool available under the special tool. So here you can see the root ended abrupt, so I just added some more details, and now I'm using the special fill tool to change the color a little bit, not too much because we want it to be bright because it's straightly in front of the sunlight, so it want to be bright, so I'm keeping it bright. So now everything is ready. Then I'm going to click on the original and going to do some other editing for this. So what I'm doing here is I just creating the trees which are far away from our view. So for that I'm doing erase process. So I just clicked the eraser tool and used the leaves one eraser to erase the top branches more, like around 70% to 80% almost. And then I'm going to duplicate these and create multiple trees, like continuous range of trees. I'm just creating here and there, keeping them here and there. Just once I'm done, I'm creating one more tree just by duplicating the layer, and now I'm just merging all these trees which I have duplicated right now. So now I'm just reducing the opacity just to make it look like it is far away and it's beyond the fog, so it is not visible that much. So create that look with that, and using watercolor water brush to blend them more. And then I just kept that blending mode of the layer as multiply. Now I'm going to duplicate the layer and create some more trees at the right side. This time also the layer blending mode is multiply and just increasing the opacity by a little amount, because it is on the right side, it shows some darkness shadows on the right side, so I'm just increase the opacity a little bit. So now I'm going to add details, living thing details. So what I'm doing is I'm using two birds material which is available under animals material. So here the same process I'm going to use using special lasso fill tool. I'm going to fill the color of the birds with the dark brown color, and I just kept the layer as alpha log, so I obtained this. Then I'm going to use the shadow details. For that I'm using watercolor bleed brush as usual and adding multiple colors. Like first I used a little bit of orange and then little bit of yellow and at the top, and at almost like a corner line I'm using white color. So I just added details like this. Now it shows like highlights for the bird caused by the sunlight, so this looks really nice. and going to do the same process for the another animal horse. So this is also available under the animal material, and keeping the horse here, and going to make the layer as alpha lock, and using special fill tool I'm going to make it this brown, almost brown, dark brown. Then using watercolor bleed brush, I'm going to add same details which I've done already to the birds. First of all, red, orange, and I will move with the yellow at the corner, and at like a 0.1% line I use the white color to create a multiple highlight colors. So that looks really, so instead of using the single color, using multiple color for the highlight looks really amazing when it comes to this kind of sceneries. So now I'm using yellow color to add some more highlights. So I'm not taking the brush much inside of the horse. I'm just having all the details almost at the corners alone. So this is how the highlights works. So here you can see I almost completed the highlight, and I'm just add little more highlight just by using white color. So now it is ready. So everything is almost ready. Now we need grass. For that I'm using goose grass color. I'm using this brush, and I'm going to make this brush setting as water, which I have already told you. So here at the center, which means near the horse front side, I'm using brighter colors just to indicate the sunlight is falling there, and at corners I'm using darker colors. So then I just created a new layer, and this is the final layer. I'm going to do the final highlights. What I'm going here is I made this blending mode of the layer as add, and using sunlight effect. For that I'm using airbrush, and at the center I used bright yellow color, and at the above the trees I'm adding few more highlights just using the same yellow color. So since this layer blending mode is add, it's going to give a glow for us. Before, for all the trees, animals, all those things, I just use the same normal blending mode, and use different colors to add some highlight effects. So here I use the add blending mode. So this is the final look. I hope you like this. If you like, please support and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.